Hello, everybody. It's reviewer Aaron here. Correction corner. So you're about to listen to the next part of QuickBooks Labs podcast. And full transparency, we were on site at the Woolwich at the Get Connected event. And prior to that, I had already downloaded QuickBooks Sole Trader Plus, and I had a play around with it. Now, for whatever reason, and the QuickBooks team themselves don't even know how I was managed to do this, but when I downloaded or bought a brand new version of QuickBooks Sole Trader Plus, went into it, I was presented with the QuickBooks Sole Trader platform we all know and love. And that's why you're going to listen to a bit of confusion here, because I certainly was confused about what was new. Because when I logged in, it was exactly the same as what we've had before. It was exactly the same as what QuickBooks Sole Trader had always been. And you'll hear us talking about the confusion around that, about what was new and everything else. Now, it turns out this is pretty much one of the biggest announcements that QuickBooks could have made, but I don't think they made it in a very good way, because actually what's happened is they've retired QuickBooks Sole Trader. QuickBooks Sole Trader doesn't exist anymore. And I have content coming out on the QuickBooks Chat channel. We have obviously a follow-up podcast this time next month for QuickBooks Labs. And I have a lot of opinions about this. Not very positive opinions, if I'm completely honest, but I do have a lot of opinions about this. And I just wanted to put a little voiceover now to just set the scene that you're about to listen to some very confused people, because all we got was one splash screen saying it was QuickBooks Sole Trader Plus. And when at the time, if we'd have tried to play around with it, we were just presented with the standard QuickBooks Sole Trader. But it's much more than that. QuickBooks Sole Trader has gone. It's now no more. QuickBooks Sole Trader Plus is the new SKU. But it isn't Sole Trader as we know and love. It is basically QuickBooks Online at a reduced price. Listen to our reactions at the time. Tom sums it up beautifully, I think. But it is worthwhile knowing that actually this is a very different proposition to what we were expected to go into for Making Tax Digital. And the scary part about this was when this announcement was made and we finally found out about it, because again, full disclosure, after that podcast we went to the booths on the show floor. We spoke to some of the people there, and when we did that, we found out the truth and what it actually is. I was flabbergasted. I knew QuickBooks Sole Trader Plus was on its way. I knew that was something we had to be prepared for in terms of training and everything else. I knew it was something that, was going to be there, but I was just told it was going to fix all the problems that I had with it. You go back on my channel, there's loads of videos of 5 things that I would change about QuickBooks Sole Trader. And I was under the impression and kind of got told that, yeah, don't worry about it, Aaron. All your problems are going to be solved. They haven't solved those problems. They've created much bigger problems for myself and my firm and my clients. But that's one for another day. This bit I wanted to do now is just to set the context of everything you're about to hear is lack of information, lack of clarity. And I don't really think that's on us, because I tried. I went to go and look at the solution beforehand. And we can only report on what we know about, right? And at that point, we didn't know anywhere near enough. So strap in, listen to what it is. I think the rest of the pod, we're pretty much bang on. There's not really a correction corner for anything else. But we completely missed the mark on QuickBooks Sole Trader. So back to the team over at Woolwich, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now. Hello.
Come on.
Yay. Hello, everybody, and a very warm welcome to another exciting episode of QuickBooks Labs, brought to you by the Ashley Accountant Network. And we're here on location here at the Woolwich Centre. Woolwich, something or other?
Works.
Yeah. We're at QuickBooks Get Connected. Let's be frank about it. So, like we did last year, we're here again to give you some insights into what was just announced on stage, and we couldn't be more excited to be here. And it seems like a tradition here that we're joined by the absolute legend himself, Mr. Tom Herbert. Tom, how are you?
Very well, thank you, Aaron. You're too kind.
You are the legend that there is. So, first question I have to you guys is overall of the event itself. So, we're back here at Woolwich. This is our second time here. Last year we were at the Tobacco Docks. That was the first year since COVID hit, and then before that we've been all over the place, right?
Yeah.
So, overall vibes. Amy, to tell the people who you are and give your overall vibes. Go for it.
So I'm Amy Hancock. I have a firm, Hancock and Hastings, and I'm an auditor, an accountant, and QuickBooks lover. So yes, I haven't actually been here before.
Really?
So it's quite a nice venue, easy to get to. I had to queue a bit, but that's fine.
Not that you're thinking about having to queue.
No, it's a nice vibes. Everyone's here from QuickBooks. There's a few vendors here as well. We had Lee Thomas on stage.
We did.
Talking again, topic AI to start with. And yeah, it's been good so far. We're kind of late morning now, aren't we? So
Yeah.
We've got a few more sessions to go this afternoon. We'll see what's to come.
Nice. Simon, what's your overall vibes been?
I'm Simon, Software Advisory Manager at Moore Kingston Smith. But overall vibe, I've been here before, so I've been to many events.
It was 2 years ago, wasn't it?
It was 2 years ago,
Yeah,
yep. A similar sort of vibe to then. It's a much nicer day today. It's like a sauna. Oh, that room where the breakout rooms is a bit too warm. It's like a big greenhouse. But yeah, honest opinion of how today went, I think we could have had a bit more hype of new things.
Yeah.
If I was new to QuickBooks, I don't really know what is new.
Yeah.
I think that's if I was sort of standing back and sort of neutral as a new person to QuickBooks, I'd know QuickBooks, but what is the new platform? What is Accountant Suite, etc.? I think a bit more detail could have gone in to those things. Obviously, we're quite privileged and we get to see all these things. And we did, like, even some of the stuff we did on the walkthrough last week, not walkthrough, watch along we did for Vegas.
Yeah.
Dropping some of those in would have really built the room, in my opinion.
And I guess they are more virtual, those like product announcements, but we've had my fondest memories of these events are the product announcements.
Yep.
They are the bit that gets me. And maybe I'm a different breed, right? But that's what I remember about these sort of events, right?
I think I agree. Yeah, like it's very like that Vegas one was great. We got to see things. They went into a bit more detail than you normally go into on something like this. But even just going, this is what we're doing. They briefly mentioned on main stage, I think it was Adelpha, we're doing stuff in advanced around reporting and things like. Show us what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because that actually, when we watched that at the Vegas thing, that was the bit I was like, this is what should be happening.
We wanted to pause it and talk about it, right?
We wanted to pause and talk about it. And it's showing that to the people that are here who won't have watched our podcast, won't have watched the watch along or watched the thing. That's the kind of thing I would expect to see on the stage, really.
Definitely. Mr. Charlie Khan.
Hello.
Tell people who you are and what your overall vibe's been.
I am Charlie Khan. I am an accountant in West London, work with a lot of clients in the creative industries. Nice venue. Yes, we've been here before. Very nice venue. I'm going to put in my pitch now that I would...
We didn't have this before, though, did we?
We didn't have... I think we had that thing before.
No. It was
maybe we didn't.
Yeah, it was just like an empty square last time.
Oh,
so
maybe. I think you're right.
I
think you're right about that.
The greenhouse.
Yeah. So I'm going to put in my pitch now for whoever does all the marketing for events at Intuit, Olympia. It was going to be at Olympia before COVID, the year of COVID.
It was, that's right.
It was going to be at Olympia. Olympia now looks amazing. And it's a 10-minute bike ride for me.
It's right next to your house, isn't it? Yeah.
So a 10-minute bike ride for me in Chiswick, so that'd be lovely. Rather than coming all the way to Woolwich, which I left on Wednesday, and today's Sunday.
Did you not get the boat like I did last time?
I didn't get the boat. No, we can't. No, the boat from Chiswick to here would take even longer probably.
Longer than Derby, or
I'm not interested in Derby. I mean, anything outside the North Circular, let alone the M25, is not really of interest to me. North of the Thames and south of the North Circular, that's my London. What did I think? I sort of agree with what Simon was saying. I think I would have been nice to have had they could have picked. There's enough going on that they could have picked just one or two headline announcements to make, which would have been a bit more exciting, a bit more, for old hands like us. And there are plenty of others in the room. And a lot of accountants in there and bookkeepers in there that I recognise who are long-time QuickBooks users who know it. There are also a lot of people who are relatively new to QuickBooks and don't know it, and they will have been excited by what they saw because they won't have heard of IAS before, the Intro to Accounting Suite and things like that. And having a brief overview in the sessions, and then there's breakout rooms specific on it, I think that's great for them. So I'm not going to detract from what they were clearly trying to achieve. That served a purpose for an audience, but I think they could have covered a bigger audience by also including the people who know the product better and were looking for just one or two key enough they can go away and going, oh wow, it's now got X.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's what we care about, isn't it? I mean, and we're not the only audience there, and there would definitely be people who appreciated that approach. But for us, we didn't get that bit that we're coming for, are we? Like that bit that gets us excited. Tom, you've been to a lot of events around this industry. I'm trying to say that in the nicest possible way. You've been to quite a few events that we've had. What was your overall vibe? Because this is well, it's not the start for you, is it, of 2026? You've already had a few events, haven't you? And they've been like alternate accounting events, stuff. Have you been to them? But what's your vibe of the start of this 2026?
Yeah, I think when you asked me that question last year, obviously, it's always good to check in on the vibes. I think I talked a little bit about, getting the balance right, like for mature products, like QuickBooks. Obviously, it's quite difficult. You can't do the sort of Steve Jobs and one more thing. Oh, we're gonna do tax or whatever. You can only play those cards a certain amount of time before you have this sort of mature product, as it were. And so you have to sort of reinvent the wheel a little bit and come up with research or what have you. But I think to add to that, there's always a bit of a sort of balance to strike between the sort of top level marketing stuff and the product side of things that obviously as a technology editor I'm interested in. But I think it's sort of bringing that, bringing the audience in a little bit and what you chaps were saying there, sort of throwing your arms around your existing users a bit more, making this feel like a QuickBooks community rather than just that sort of top level marketing to prospective customers, I guess.
And I suppose they've got all of these amazing booths, and there's, like you have at most events, right? And I imagine if we went and talked to these, we'll get that sense of the newness, wouldn't we? And there'll be enough people. There's not enough product knowledge people in there that we could probably get it ourselves, and we could find it. It's just gone are the days where we had that spearhead of the industry, Nick, and he was telling us how amazing and excited we are, right? And it feels like we're losing on that, aren't we, a little bit?
I was going to say last year, Nick was on stage and he took us through the elements of what's changing. And I feel like, we might not have that, but we have that with the Intuit Accounting Suite.
Yeah.
We have these elements and that hasn't come through. And there are a lot of people here that aren't as heavily involved in the product as we are.
Yeah.
They're not watching QuickBooks Labs, unfortunately. They're not involved in what's going on. Something's changed in their ecosystem.
Yeah.
I think I brought my husband today. Sorry, I'm going to drop him again. But Gary's come as a bookkeeper. He's not massively involved in the client side on QBOA. But there are elements in there, like books closed, like insights, that, yes, you spoke about in your talk, Aaron, but that wasn't brought out initially on stage. And you can have all these marketing videos and things, but this is the event people have come to hear about those things. So I do feel there is a different vibe here, that it's not giving us standout, and Intuit Accounting Suite is a standout for us. We feel it is, and there are elements that are really good, and none of that has been explained so far. I mean, they've got a breakout with Rochelle, who's talking about it, I think, right now. But I feel like she should have been on that main stage at the start, talking about it.
I was speaking to someone who I've known for a long time, who's here, and we all know them, and they said, I've not been sold the reason why I would switch.
Yeah. And I asked
or not even switch, you're going to get,
switched.
It's not a switch as in, obviously you can switch at the moment, but eventually you're going to have it.
Yeah.
And they're only a small practice of 30 staff. And they were struggling to go, well, what is my benefit of this? We've talked about it, but show me what my benefit is.
And that's the upsetting thing, because we know there's so much benefit to it. It's not being talked about enough.
And how to like it's slightly different for us where we've got 1,000 staff. Like if I switch that on, I have to deal with 1,000 people. You know, if someone's not turning on for 30 staff, there's something not in the marketing or what they're being told isn't sitting somewhere.
100%. So we did have a few product announcements, so we'll definitely want to get Tom's view on this one. It was a blink or you missed it, but finally we've got the new appointment option is now live in QuickBooks. So I've known about this for a while. The idea here is that within QuickBooks itself, just like Calendly and all those other solutions, you can book with your accountant through there, and clients will be able to use this to book for meetings themselves going forward. So there was that announced. They showed off the client request more info feature, not to enough detail to really get excited about it, but it was shown off. There's one more big example we'll talk about later, but over those two, do you have any opinions on that, Tom, or do you not know enough about it?
No, like, because I think what they're going to bump up against more and more is the disintermediation question. You know, obviously in the States, QuickBooks Live, TurboTax Live, that's a thing. And bringing more AI into the product, you know, coming up with these sort of touch of a button slogans that you come up with. And so being able to book an appointment with an accountant from the platform, being able to request a bit more info, like it's just these little things that say, let the QuickBooks accountant partners know, like, we're on your side here, you know, we're okay. So it seems like a couple of smart, you know, small but smart moves.
Smart moves. And any of you free jump in on this one? I've just done my talk, and one person came up at the end and they said, I'm really, really worried about this whole AI situation because it's going to take away my job, because it was telling them about on reports that this has got good and this got bad, right? And my first reaction to them is, but use that as a chance to have a conversation with a client, right? These are the sort of tools that are going to help us have those conversations more, right? I see we're building an ecosystem here. It's, I'm impatient. It's taken too long, in my opinion, but that's me being impatient, right? But let's get this right. Let's get this built properly. These are the sort of tools that actually going forward are going to be really super important to us, right? Who wants to say that?
Oh, I agreed. Like, it's not taking a job away, put it that way.
Yeah.
But like, you know, the bits that are in there on the reports at the moment, it's just saying, oh, by the way, you might have spent £200 every month on your phone, but one month you put £2,000 in. It's servicing that to just quickly go, oh yeah, I might have made a mistake. Like, it's not telling you that you've done it wrong, and it's not going and correcting it for you. It's just going, you know, as part of doing some management accounts, you probably should be looking at what, you know, those usual things that you're doing every month anyway. Yeah. Oh, okay, let's go and check that month. It's not, and it might then, as you said, go, oh yeah, there was that spend. Right, okay, what was that for? Well, let's have that conversation. Pick all those things up there and then, rather than wait until you do their accounts.
Yeah. I just wonder if having just a splash screen and if you blink you miss it.
I think that was the problem. There was a splash screen, and like you've managed to capture a couple of the bits that were up there. Yeah. I missed the appointment thing completely. Yeah. And I have theories about the appointment thing anyway. But that might
until we play with it, we don't know, right?
Well, also, do I want clients to just suddenly start putting stuff in my Outlook calendar? Yeah. Probably not. I have my own way of dealing with that, and it's not just go away. But I like the idea of it, but also that's on the accountant suite. Where does it integrate then if you're using Practice Manager? Because there was a bit in there all around, the new accountant suite will sort your workflows out and everything else. But you've got workflows and all that stuff in Practice Manager.
Yeah, but it's UK only though, isn't it?
That's UK only, but where's that bit I think's been missed.
I agree.
In that, should there be an integration?
Yeah.
There obviously is an integration, but should that be made deeper?
Yeah.
And actually then, or is it just the fact that Practice Manager should now come into IAS as well? Yeah. And then it is all one platform. Yeah. Then you are getting into the whole thing of everything's in one place. I can't remember what they called it, but I call it app fatigue. Yeah. And I think they said between 7 and 25, which if I'm at 7, I'm on app fatigue anyway. But yeah, you need to it's that whole thing of bringing everything into one place again.
Definitely. Right, we had one big announcement on Sage, which, full disclosure, I'm normally ready and waiting for all these and excited. I knew it was coming. I knew QuickBooks Sole Trader Plus.
We sort of spoiled it the other day, didn't we?
Yeah, but no one would tell me what it was going to bring to the table. So my assumption was it was going to fix the problems we had in it. it seems they may have decided to go add new features to it instead. Features they've announced are income tax made easy. We knew MTD was coming, but actually we're going to show it there, which is good to see. Just confidence building, isn't it? The auto categorization's now been renamed Intuit AI, done for automation. Pay enabling invoicing is finally live. So I've played with that, done a video on it, but I also got it taken off me, so hopefully now it's ready to rock and roll. Full CIS functionality, which...
We'll leave Amy to discuss that one.
Yeah, we'll have that one. But the interesting one is third-party integrations.
Yep.
Text, Fathom, all this, and Go Cardless, all going into Mayday's there as well. Going into QuickBooks Sole Trader Plus. I love the concept, but I'm a little bit confused about that one because the whole point was it wasn't going to have that.
Well, that's what we said. We gave feedback before, didn't we? Of, because the receipt capture wasn't great.
It's still not working.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, our clients would have been used to Dext or whatever receipt capture tool you're using. Why can't I integrate that in?
Yeah.
Or for instance, if you've got Dex and you're using Commerce.
Yeah.
And you're just a simple sole trade with an Etsy shop.
Yeah.
It's getting that data in quickly.
Where's QuickBooks as eBay and Amazon and the ones that the MTD ones are crying out for, right? I mean, Tom, from your point of view, you saw the QuickBooks Simple Sole Trader Plus. Were you expected this? Was this come as a surprise to you? I mean, it surprised me.
No. I mean, similar. I think I got a press release yesterday about it, and it obviously comes off the what's the word? Comes hot off the heels of Sole Trader itself.
Yeah,
Obviously, that replaced there's individual, wasn't it? And so it does feel like that there's a huge velocity, a huge turnaround in these things, and I think there's a sort of Jurassic Park style message here. And I know they mentioned it on Sage, like, oh, AI is really helping us code faster, and it's like, well, just because you can release all these products doesn't mean you should. And I think a lot of this stuff is being released, you're sort of building the track as the train's sort of going along, as it were. And so, hopefully they're listening to chaps like yourselves on the Accountant Council and sort of getting your feedback on what should or shouldn't be released. But yeah, I mean, this one did catch me on the hop a little bit.
Yeah, it just not the product I knew it needed work. I think it needed work in different areas, didn't it? To give us confidence to use it.
But also the other thing that is now on the new platform as well.
Yeah.
So that gives you an instant, we can just upgrade it from this one to this one quite. It's that whole end-to-end. I start on Sole Trade. I've now become a limited company. I can just hit update or change my license, and I haven't lost everything I've done already.
Yeah.
But one of the biggest things, I had a conversation with the engineering team who were dealing with MTD, was around, actually, it's great that it's there and it's going to do what you need to do for one of your sole trade businesses. What if I need 2 sole trade businesses? I've got to have 2 licenses. Or I still want to track my other income, so I've got my overarching view of my finances.
Yeah, exactly.
I might have dividends coming in that I don't need to worry about initially, but I do want to do on the 5th return and things like that. And it's feeding those bits back to say it's good where it is at the moment, but it needs to be a one place. You don't want to keep, if you've got 4 or 5 businesses, you don't want 4 or 5 places to log into.
And I'm glad they haven't just brought a new SKU, so that we've got this whole simple Sole Trader Plus, then simple. So like, I appreciate we're not overcomplicating things, but why are we rebrand? Amy, help.
So I didn't read the press release.
I
was busy auditing. But
I tried to play with the product.
One of my questions was going to be, is it a new SKU? Because the impression that it gave was, you've got Sole Trader, this is Sole Trader Plus. I'm like, okay, so we're going to have Sole Trader Plus, Simple Start. So this is still Sole Trader. So just to clarify for everyone, this is still Sole Trader.
No, it's Sole Trader Plus.
Sole Trader doesn't exist.
So is it now called Plus?
Yeah. So Sole Trader isn't a stamp. That's gone from the website.
Oh, fine. Didn't know that.
I don't think it needs the Plus name.
Yeah.
It makes it sound
Sounds like there's more to it, right?
Yeah, that you're going to have a different SKU. Okay. Well, yeah, it just feels like it's bits that should have, like Tom was saying, bits that probably should have been there from the start. Like it's not a plus. And I think a lot of people in the audience, and I'd like to think I'm a little bit in the loop, maybe not as much as you guys, but a lot of people in the audience won't know that.
Yeah.
And it wasn't clearly
to be your only
explained.
big announcement, like your big push.
I think there's a lot about communication here. I'll take you back. Sorry, this is a bit of a tangent. I'll take you back to last month. We obviously had the Lunar New Year, Chinese New Year. The last one was the wood snake, I think, a sort of slow, cautious, reflective year. We've now tipped over into the fire horse. Exciting times, the first fire horse year we've had since 1966. Obviously, a lot went on then. Fire horse years tend to be more sort of energetic, vibrant, a lot of change going on. And I kind of feel it's quite a nice reflection. Like accountants have taken a watching brief on AI so far, for obvious reasons, right? 85% right doesn't really cut it in the world of accountancy, and so, but it kind of feels this year change is coming whether you like it or not. Like AIS has been switched on. Whether you want, like that's coming at the end of the year. You've had your the sort of bank feed stuff come in. Like a lot of this stuff is coming. I'd probably say I don't think this is a slight on the accountancy profession. They're more wood snakes than fire horses, but it does feel like the vendors are trying to. Well, that flaming horse is galloping towards the accountants, whether they like it or not. It does feel like the vendors are trying to flip the board on them. So I think the vendors that are going to succeed in this AI game are the ones who are going to be able to bridge that gap, as it were, from the wood snake to the fire horse.
Love that analogy. I'm going to throw something at you. The other big one, Charlie, because you're not. And hopefully you've got an opinion on this. The bombshell of Hammock.
Well, before we get to that bombshell, pigeons are trying to commit suicide on our. The biggest bombshell was a little announcement from Amy. Apparently, not everybody's watching QB Labs. This is shocking to me. Really shocking.
I saw a couple of my former employees and mentioned it, and they were like, "What?" Excuse me.
But the Hammock announcement, I wait to hear more about what that actually means, because for people who don't know Hammock is I've not used it, but it's a very good product for dealing, for landlords to deal with rental properties, and if you've got properties split with different owners across different properties, it handles all that very, very well, and it does MTD. But if you're using Hammock, then I'm not sure quite what the integration with QuickBooks will do. They threw away that it's going to work with Hammock, but they didn't say in any way how it's going to work with Hammock, what it will add to Hammock. So we wait to see on that one.
Yeah, but where is that news? Like,
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, I completely bamboozled by that, and to not have any kind of clarification what the integration is going to be or anything like that just feels strange. Any thoughts on it?
I had a quick chat with Marco.
Okay, brilliant.
In the hall there.
Yeah.
It's apparently, obviously you need the 2 licenses, but it's going to be embedded into QuickBooks for those more. Is it API integration? Quite slick from the sounds of it. Yeah, for the more complicated landlords. So that was it was only a sort of brief chat on the way here. I don't have many more details than that, but yeah,
that's what it is. Oh, definitely something to keep an eye on then. Right, final thoughts then, people. It's
I've got a final thought that was briefly brought up on Adolfo's interview. There was one bit he mentioned. They were talking about the SMB landscape and it becoming more complex and using Advanced.
Yeah.
But never got as far as Enterprise Suite.
No. So we're not expecting it this year then?
So I don't think we are. But it was interesting that he didn't say, we're also working. Again, it's those little things of, these are coming.
Like we know about, but the public
those
doesn't
sprinkles
know
of things.
Yeah.
It was very much, we are making advances for more complex, but there is that.
So it feels like it's going to be a very hush-hush release for that, right? Like there's not going to be a big... Because this was the place to announce if you're going to announce it anywhere, right?
Yeah. And we thought there'd be lots of the stuff that we saw announced, right, from the Vegas one announced today. But I think that was, just dropped in there, but it's very much of an advanced, this is what we're doing with advanced, whereas I would say Enterprise Suite, which was the big thing.
It's almost expectation, wasn't it, to be...
When did they announce Enterprise Suite? They did announce Enterprise Suite
not
at one
UK,
of these events.
It's only US at the moment.
It was only, we just happened to know about it.
Yeah. Final thoughts, Amy?
Yeah, I mean, we're fortunate to know what's happening. The Hammock thing was the only thing that I'd really go, made me sit up a little bit. I feel like there could have been more around the accounting suite in the main start of the day for other people. Yeah, I feel like they're missing a trick. I feel like they're not singing and dancing about things that we're excited about.
this whole wall that they could have talked about, right?
Oh yeah,
we've never spoken about this in the public. We've never been on this. Like, we've never had someone on stage talk about it. We've been to events.
Yeah. I was going to say, here's all the agents, but you would have no idea if you walked in the room, if you walked down here, what these are actually for.
They've got the big sign. They've got the big ones in the main room of the symbols, but we had to look up one because it didn't say.
But that's the sort of thing
But here it does say what they are here, but it's
a lot
smaller in passing. Yeah.
And that's the thing Nick would have done on stage, right?
Yeah, that's true.
It would have been 30 seconds, not even 30 seconds, and gone, right, that OI does, boom, done.
Yeah. I'm going to wow you with this feature, wow you that feature.
Yeah, exactly.
Charlie, final thoughts?
Final thought. I think we've probably covered most things, haven't we?
Yeah.
I'm not sure I've got anything else to add, except hopefully see you all next year in Olympia. I'll throw that one back in. Nudge, nudge.
Hint, hint.
Nudge, nudge, hint, hint. West London.
And Tom, anything you want to plug, push?
Yeah, I think final thoughts are around sort of tying things up. It's so hard. We have been fire hosed in the face with product over the last year.
True,
true. If you think back 12 months, 24 months, we'd obviously heard about Intuit Assist, that kind of wasn't, that was a thing, and then it wasn't a thing, and so the Intuit Accountant Suite instead, and the naming conventions sort of change. I think they need to be careful, because this is how Sage came a bit unstuck.
This is true.
Back in the day, with all these random products that were firing around, and even their own executives couldn't quite peg. I mean, I know Stephen Kelly was a walking Ken doll anyway, wasn't he? But he couldn't quite. Sorry, did I say that out loud? But it's one of those where you need to be on top of this stuff, and that clear communication about what the products are and what they do is vital. In events like this, that's the best place to get your message across.
Yeah, the eyes are on you, aren't they? Right? Yeah. One burning question we all want to know: are we allowed to still call it Festival of Accounting and Bookkeeping, or is it a brand no anymore?
Yeah. I think that's gone the way of the QuickBooks Online accountant, hasn't it? Yeah.
RIP to both.
Yeah, gone but not forgotten.
Well, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for all giving us your time. My final thoughts is still, I love this event. I love walking around, seeing all the energy, seeing the team and the Intuit employees and how excited they are. And there is so much excitement. There's so much to talk about. Maybe we'll see it in another event or something. This was, for me, what I love from these events are those product wow moments. And all I've come away from them is a little bit of confusion, and which is great for our podcast. Like, hey, and my QuickBooks Chat channel, it's going to be great. Like, there'll be eyes on there now, but I wanted to come out here and I'll always remember those events where I've come out here and we're all talking about this new feature. The Go Cardless integration 10 years ago, I still remember being bamboozled by that. Like, walking out of that room going, this is going to change the game. Like, that's how excited I was. And this one, I'm still excited. Obviously, I'm excited in the QuickBooks chat, but I didn't come out of that room going, that's amazing, this is amazing. I came out going, oh, that's interesting. And there was trepidation in my head. And we cut, these events need to be a wow factor in my eyes. So thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
Any more final thoughts before I close down? No good? Well, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. And remember, this is the Ask Accountant Network. So if you want to watch anything to do with the world of accounting, you're in the right place. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. We will be back next month for QuickBooks Labs. We'll try and figure out what's going on. We're going to walk the rooms now. We're going to try and figure this all out so that next week, or next month, shall I say, you'll get the information you need. But in the meantime, head over to Accounting Web, and I'm sure Tom would have had an amazing write-up of all the stuff we've got wrong.
Yep, coming soon.
Correction corner. Cheers, everyone.
Bye.
We're all taking a picture.
Oh, lovely.
Come on, Irina.
Hey. Oh, she's in team today.
I can only hold this for so long.